Yo, what's good everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber back at it again with another Marvel's Avengers video. So in this build video actually, I'm going to showcase to you my Spider-Man battery effect range build. I know what you guys are saying. You're like, a range build? Really? This game is all about range. Honestly, it's good to have different builds out there, so this is one of many Spider-Man builds that I will be putting out. But the first one is the range build. Everyone knows how OP the drone is, but everyone also knows how OP Spider-Man can be as well. So with this build video, I'm going to be showcasing to you how effective Spider-Man is with his range abilities. If you guys do want to switch it up with your Spider-Man builds where you want to try out, let's say, a range build, this will be the build to definitely do it. So let's get it started. You guys already know, like always, we're going to break down the gear, where to get the gear, the skills, a demonstration, and also going to throw some clips at the end so you guys can see how OP Spider-Man is. And I promise you, I will be putting out a melee build as well. So let's get it started. Okay everyone, so we are in Wakanda right now. Honestly, I don't know if Spider-Man has ever taken a trip to Wakanda. If you guys know if he has ever taken a trip to Wakanda, even in the comics, let me know. Because that question just came across my mind. I'm not sure if he's ever visited Wakanda. But let's get it started. You guys already know we're chilling with the Dora Milaje right now. With this build, it is, like I said, a range-based drone build. So here are the stats right now before we go into gear. Range is currently sitting at 2,611. Heroic is at 3,777. Let me also put the stats up here. So with this Spider-Man range build, you obviously want to make sure you have precision, valor, proficiency. Defense is also pretty good, but with Spider-Man, one thing I will mention, he does know how to dodge a lot of attacks, and he definitely can crowd control a lot of enemies. So you actually will not be getting hit a lot from enemies with Spider-Man compared to other heroes, because he does have that, dodging attribute within him. So when it comes to the gear now, we're going to go ahead to the artifacts first. With the artifacts, I'm rocking 2 yellow ISO 8s. I honestly prefer if I can get a purple or epic piece of this with a, heroic assault ability or some sort of perk like that where it can recharge that heroic. But I'm settling with the blue for now, just because that's all I have currently. But eventually, if you guys do come across an epic yellow ISO 8 artifact, definitely go for that if it does also have higher stats. And I'm also using the Cosmic Affinity. So this actually has Valor and Proficiency. So if you guys are not aware, Proficiency helps you with critical chance and perk chance. Valor helps you with critical damage and heroic effectiveness. And I will show you where I got these ISOs. So let's go ahead to the war table here. So the great thing about getting these artifacts is with just regular, blue ISOs like this, or even like the regular Valor ISOs, you can get that from either outposts located in the Pacific Northwest or the Utah Badlands, or when you're opening up loot boxes around every mission you're running. But in terms of that other ISO I was showing you guys, the ISO 8 of Cosmic Infinity, these ISOs are really great just because they have dual attributes or dual stats in terms of like valor and proficiency, or sometimes you can even come across a precision and valor piece as well. So that's definitely what I will also aim for. So hopefully if I do run into another Cosmic Infinity ISO 8, I will replace it with this, and I hope it does have better stat, because I honestly don't want to just depend on the drone when I'm using this range build. I also want to use those web shooters on enemies. Even though how corny it looks, especially with Spider-Man's range attacks, you just don't want to depend on the drone. You also want to get in the mix and start spamming those web shooters. So back to the ISO 8 of a Cosmic Infinity. You can actually get these from like vault missions. So here's an example of a vault mission right here. When you're opening up DNA chests, you will be able to, get that epic Cosmic Infinity artifact. So vaults can also give you that from DNA chest only, or you can go to the Utah Badlands and play the Omega Level Threat Family Reunion. So at the end, every week, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, weekly reset, if you beat the Omega Level Threat, you will be able to get either a Cosmic Infinity artifact or another, Cosmic artifact. And the reason why it is called like a Cosmic artifact is it has this perk called Reactive Cosmic Surge. So while you're taking damage, you get this Cosmic Surge buff, and then it restores small amount power of your heroic energy and willpower, which is great for Spider-Man because if you guys already know, the Spider-Man range build or even a melee build, his heroic charge rate is ridiculous. He will be able to spam heroics like crazy. So definitely go for this, but also make sure you aim for Valor and Proficiency or Valor and Precision. And obviously, like I said, I'll be replacing this. Artifact I'm using the Sacred Nornstone of Lethal Will, just because my range piece does currently have a damage buff. You can switch over to the Tactigen if you want to just deal more status damage, but it's really up to you. I just like using this because it does increase your critical attack chance, and it also increases the duration if you're using a damage buff. So those are the artifacts. Now let's go to Spectacular Lenses. This is a heroic piece that you can actually get from Elite Hives, or you can get it from Roy, the vendor, in the Helicarrier. You definitely need to make sure you check the Helicarrier every so often, because there is a chance that he will have it. Instead of you running those Elite Hives, just go to the Helicarrier like we're about to do right now, and then you'll be able to get that. So let's wait for it to load real quickly. Hopefully he does have it. You might need to check honestly every day. And you definitely want to make sure it has Precision, Resolve, and Valor, which are 3 key attributes, especially with the Spider-Man range build. So this is the vendor here, Roy Model G. So he doesn't have it today, but he does eventually have it most of the time. So check every day when you're visiting the Helicarrier. So with this piece right here, you guys can see you gain an extra web bomb charge, which also helps with your range attacks, and it increases the duration of Spider Drone by 10 seconds. So your Spider Drone will be on the field a little bit longer than usual. And it also has this interesting perk, which I was lucky enough to get. It's called Rampage Buff. Defeat 3 enemies in rapid succession to grant a damage buff. So when you defeat 3 enemies right away, you will be able to get a damage buff, and that will also help you, inflict more range damage on your enemies. So definitely get this piece. I got Valor and Precision. I was also able to get this from the Spider-Man mission chain, but when you're first using Spider-Man, you will see something called a Spider-Man mission chain that will be located under your objectives. Make sure before you complete that mission, you're at least at the power level of 140. So then you will be able to get this piece at 140. If you do it before 140, the piece you get will most likely be a lower power level piece. But yeah, this is what I got. Again, Elite Hives. Let's just quickly go to the war table to show you where the Elite Hives are. So Elite Hives are usually located either in the Utah Badlands or Snowy Tundra. So I usually go to the Snowy Tundra, and this one right here, the Evil Reborn Elite Hive, is probably the best place to get the legendary version. Obviously, there is no exotic version. Honestly, if there was an exotic version, it probably would be OP as crazy. Like, that's how crazy it would be. It's only a legendary, gear piece. So that's that. Spectacular lenses, definitely, great for your range build. The next we have is Public Menace Ward. I love this piece because this is a key piece to your spider drone. And when I do show you guys a demonstration of this build, you will see that the spider drone will deal status effect damage based on the range piece you have. So the range piece I have right now is Sonic, legendary. So the spider drone will do sonic damage, which will also help you get your heroic abilities up faster so you can continue, using them and spamming them. And then it also has this interesting perk for defense purposes. It's called Auto Defensive Stance. 15.6% chance to automatically activate a defensive stance. So it's basically like a shield, and it will basically also make sure that you can negate that attack, which is very useful when you're, dodging enemies and getting hit by enemies. And then you also see the third perk. It's also a defensive perk right there. Sense Purity, increase the damage resistant duration of spider sense by 2 seconds. This is also a great defensive perk when you're dodging enemies and also defending. So there's two versions of this. You can either get the legendary version or you can get the exotic version. And I'll explain to you how to get those. So let's go to the war table. With the exotic version, it honestly is based on your luck and those RNG gods, because I was so lucky to get the exotic version from Last Avengers Standing. So that's one place you can get the exotic version. Or when the Red Room Takeover event is back, you can complete the Spider-Man mission chain, the Red Room mission chain, and you'll be able to get it from there as well. However, if you do not want to wait for that event to come back, run the Last Avenger Standing mission and hopefully your luck pans out for you to get that. The other place to get that is the vaults. So for you to get the legendary version of that piece, because the legendary version will only give you the first two perks. So that's Auto Defensive Stance and Spider Drone's Cunning. And those are the two most important ones. So run the vault mission, but you have to complete the vaults for you to even have a chance to get that. So the legendary version is located in the vaults, and the exotic Last Avenger Standing or the Red Room Takeover event mission chain. Alright, next we have the targeted buff cartridges. Good piece right here. It is based off Sonic, so your spider drone, when you have the spider drone cunning effect, it will deal sonic damage, so that will help you increase your heroic charge rate up. So right here, simple, deal damage with Sonic, and if you're close to your enemies while doing the web shooters, that aura of Sonic will also help you increase your charge rate for your heroics fast as well. This also has a targeted buff. If you do not want to go with the targeted buff, there is one piece I'm still trying to get, and that is from the Claw Elite raid, and it's basically this one right here, Valor and Precision. However, instead of vibranium web shooters, I want it with actually Sonic dealing vibranium payload damage, which is an automatic battery effect. So in the future, if they do nerf the targeted buff or damage buff, I will eventually switch to something like this, but with Sonic and a vibranium payload, and that will create that crazy battery effect. So definitely aim for that. I'm still working on getting that, but for now, this is what I'm using when I'm running the Claw, Discordant raid, and everything like that in any other missions. So to get those pieces, let's go here. And also the third perk, chance defeating an enemy with a ranged critical attack, also grants you a heroic charge burst for all heroics. So to get the legendary targeted buff piece I just shown you, you can only get it from the Wakanda elimination threat sectors or sabotage threat sectors. But this is where I got it, and I got it by opening either those loot boxes in Wakanda, destroying those corrupted vibranium rocks. So those are the two, areas of where I got it in the Wakanda missions. The exotic piece I was talking about with the vibranium payload and sonic web shooters, you can only get that from the Claw Discordant Sound raid. So elite or regular, but definitely aim for it because again, I am working on that just in case they do nerf the damage buff. But regardless, getting this with sonic web shooters and vibranium payload will be crazy OP. And make sure you do go for Valor, Precision, and if you can get resilience as well with it, that's amazing as well. Also, one thing I want to mention, because with this perk, Spider Drone's Cunning, it only works with legendary range pieces right now that are not from, legendary range pieces currently. So then those legendary pieces with stats effects, like let's say Gamma, Plasma, Sonic, the Spider Drone will deal that damage, even Vibranium legendary pieces. However, if you have a raid, piece that has Vibranium or Sonic, your Spider Drone won't do that damage because there's a current bug in the game where this perk does not activate with any Claw Discordant raid range gear. So just keep that in mind. I also want to show you guys one more range piece if you just want to switch it up, because I also use this when I'm running like villain sector missions, and that is called the Vigilante Canister. So you can get this from the villain sector missions by beating the entire mission, and this will actually grant you web shooters with Gamma and web blast with Plasma. So you're probably thinking to yourself, why am I going to use web blast? Well, you're not. The reason why you want to get this is because of your Spider Drone. Your Spider Drone, with the Cunning perk it has from your defensive piece, it will deal Plasma and Gamma damage. So this is great battery effect with the drone. The drone's automatically doing that battery effect. And again, like I said, you can get it from the villain sector mission, which I'll show you on the war table. And then it also has Drone's Reckoning. This increases the impact damage with Spider Drone attacks. So this is perfect for the Spider Drone if you're running just like regular missions, within the game. If you're running like the raid itself, definitely go with Sonic or Vibranium. So I'm talking about the Discordant raid, because those enemies will, get affected more and you'll be able to deal more damage if you're using Sonic or Vibranium on those Discordant raid enemies. But besides that, you can use this automatic battery effect. Amazing piece right here. And quickly, just showcasing this, where to get it. So let's go here. Let's see, where's the villain sectors today. So you can get it from villain sectors like this, Above and Beyond. It's just like those daily villain sectors. That's where you can get it. Last piece, and I know I'm dragging this, but I do want to make sure I give you guys all the information as much as I can. But I will put timestamps in the video so you guys can skip to any part of the video that you want. So this piece right here is amazing as well. I actually got this from one of the Tachyon missions. You can also get it from those Tachyon anomaly events, because this piece will actually create a Tachyon surge for you to do increased status effect damage. I know it's a melee piece, but for some reason, this actually activates the Tachyon surge more than having it on your range. I was trying to get a ranged Tachyon surge piece with the damage buff, but I just got impatient and said, forget it. I'll settle with this, and I'll just settle with this melee piece that has precision and valor, but with the Tachyon surge. So this is a cosmic piece, so this is your warm status effect, and then I have my cold status effect of Sonic. So combining both of these will create a battery effect for you to do more damage. And this again works well with status effect damage, the Tachyon surge. And if you want to again switch your artifact, the Tachyon will also help to increase status effect damage as well. this piece, power attacks, meaning you can pull your enemies, or, you know, using those other power attacks Spider-Man has, or light combo finishers, spamming square can also activate a Tachyon Surge. The best way I realized that you can activate a Tachyon Surge is with Spider-Man, you're able to get so many takedowns. Once you do a takedown, you will honestly activate the Tachyon Surge automatically. If not, just pull your enemy and then you can get it as well. So when I'm demonstrating to you guys, I will show you more about how I use these attacks and in which order. And again, with the Tachyon Surge piece, you can honestly get it from Tachyon Surge missions like this. Honestly, I would probably recommend for you to wait for the Tachyon Anomaly event, which will award a Tachyon Surge exotic to all of your characters. But if you just want to try and farm for it, definitely look for the Tachyon Rift missions and make sure it does have power attacks inflict cosmic damage, and light combo finishers inflict cosmic damage. But you can honestly go for any warm status effect. Just make sure you have a sonic piece on or a cold status effect. You never want to have two of the same status effects because then you won't get a battery effect damage going on. So that was a breakdown of the gear. I know it took me a while, but I just wanted to make sure I explained again to you guys everything. Now let's go ahead into skills. All right, everyone, so we are in the skills part of the video, so let's go ahead and go to power attacks real quick just so I can show you what it is. So web pull is what will activate that Tachyon Surge from your melee piece. So by doing this, you'll activate it, but then again, if you get takedowns, you will be able to activate your Tachyon Surge as well. And then you guys already know web shooters, that's where you can get your targeted damage buff and also fill up the status meter on enemies and also web them up. If you want to reload your web shooters, a lot of people don't realize you just got to hold or press L2 and square if you're on PlayStation. Make sure you do that. I usually do that around when I get to 5 web shooters, and then I keep repeating the same process while the drone's also attacking and supporting. The next part we have is intrinsic. So intrinsic abilities give Spider-Man that opportunity to be, you know, evading attacks from enemies and also, you know, avoiding the damage and reducing the damage. So I'm not really going to go a lot into this because with Spider-Man, he does dodge very well. And with the defensive perk I have, which is called, let's go back here, the auto defensive stance, this is where it will automatically activate the shield, negating any attack an enemy does. And it does usually pop up quite frequently. Going to go through specialty real quickly, just break down a couple things about it. High emissions, this is for your spider drone. This is where the spider drone will attack and do more damage than, you know, going into its support attributes here. So you definitely want to have that so it can do high damage. And then we also have spider drone that can also, when defeating enemies, it can drop heroic orbs. So those enemies can drop heroic orbs, which is great to build up your heroic meters fairly quickly. Next we got web bomb. So you guys already know with the heroic piece I have, I can actually have an extra web bomb charge in my heroic assault. So I like using web retraction because when there's a bunch of enemies, you can use that to group them up and then start going into your web shooters or wrecking ball and start attacking those enemies. And then we also have increased the web bomb recharge speed, so supercharged by 20%, which is helpful for web bomb. Next, we have the ultimate heroic ability, which is wrecking ball. So I like using Spider's Nest just because when you apply it, or when I apply it, I'll group up all the enemies together and then use it. I actually also use it when I have the damage buff active first, and then I'll go into my spider jump. But again, we will get into that in the demonstration part of the video. So once you got Wrecking Ball activated, it's going to create this web status effect, and all enemies that enter it will be webbed up. So it gives you a great opportunity to, start attacking them or start doing takedowns on them if it does pop up. So Spider's Nest is one thing you want to have. And then we also have Spun Up, which is basically all web status damage is boosted by 10% while Wrecking Ball is active. So those are the specialty skills. With Mastery, let's just go through it quickly, and if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And one thing I did want to mention to you guys, so going to the web status part here, the reason I have Web Sense instead of this one over here, the Heroic Orb, is because once your intrinsic meter is completely full with Spider-Man, you'll be able to do an automatic takedown, which will generate a Heroic Orb. So that's why I have this one instead of getting a Heroic Orb. And this part over here, honestly, this is probably a bug that's currently in the game and they might eventually fix it. But this is what I usually have. I have Web Counter, Intrinsic Reserve, and Overcharge Boost. You can also do this if you really want. Lucky enough, again, due to the bug, I have like 2 attributes and all of the intrinsic abilities. Not sure how that happened, but it is what it is. Even intrinsic recovery is really good as well. So you can definitely go with whatever you want over here. So lucky enough, I was able to get the 2 I wanted on each. Now going into champion system, obviously you want to max out the defensive boost. You want to definitely get that defense up. But with Spider-Man, like I said, he got that dodging skill like he's in the Matrix, so he is able to dodge a lot of enemy attacks, and he is a great support unit, especially if you're in the Sound Discordant raid and you're in that last room when you're fighting Claw. He will be able to, avoid all the enemies there and hold it down until your teammates defeat Claw. Then I would go into Perk Chance Boost. This will help activate your damage buff a little bit more frequently. Then you definitely want to get the Heroic Charge Rate boost. And then go into Critical Chance, Critical Damage boost, your stats and stun damage, range damage, heroic damage. Spider-Man, I'm hoping to have him as my second main hero next to Hawkeye, so I'm planning to max out everything. But like I said, you want to get your Fortification boost first, then get Perk Chance boost. Heroic Charge Rate is definitely good, so you can even do this second. And then Critical Chance boost, Critical Damage, Status and Stun damage, Range damage, Heroic damage, all in that order. And I will be putting timestamps in the comments and also in the description, so if you guys do want to skip to any parts of the video, you can. So we've done the champion system, we went over that, we went over mastery, specialty, primary. Now let's quickly do a quick demonstration, and then from there we will end the video with some clips. Let's go. Okay, so we are in the custom harm room right now. Let's get on with this demonstration. Going to be a quick, demonstration as well, just because with Spider-Man, it's pretty simple when it comes to using his range attacks and which attacks to use in which order. So let's get it started. Let's go to the terminal. And while I'm doing this, I just want you guys to be aware, with this range Spider-Man build, you can actually use this build to solo the Super Adaptoid, even fight Claw if you're not playing the support role. And he does amazing damage against bosses as well, individually. But he really performs well when there's a bunch of enemies grouped up. But Spider-Man is very underrated when it comes to, soloing bosses, because he does have that capability of you know, soloing a super adaptoid or even being in the fight with Claw. But most of the time he is a support unit. But like I said, with this build, you will be able to do both. So we're going to go ahead to difficulty right now. We're going to switch it to these Claw Company enemies, max size. Go ahead and get started. So here, obviously you want to get that damage buff going. And see, this is how I usually dodge. So you can see all those perks boost up. So you guys, and then here's a defensive stance. Got the damage buff applied. Wrecking Ball. Use the drone. And then you guys can see my intrinsic meter's full. I'm able to do a takedown. I'll be able to do another takedown. Okay, it's still full. Get a heroic orb. Use web bomb. Oh. Pick up these heroic orbs. And watch this. Another one. And then you can also see your cooldown on the left side of the screen. Ooh, let me get out of this. So you always want to use your Wrecking Ball first after you get your damage buff. So there we go. Wrecking Ball. Spider Drone. And when you're doing a takedown, you should be able to get your Tachyon Surge, just like that. And then that gives you increased stats effect damage. And if you want to do the web pull, you can also do that to get your Tachyon Surge. But like I said earlier, most of the time, you can get your Tachyon Surge by just doing a takedown. So honestly, that was just very quick and simple on how to use Spider-Man when it comes to missions and with this range build. So we'll just do a demonstration again. So you'll get your damage buff applied first. Once that's applied, activate your Norn Stone of Lethal Will major artifact. Then make sure the enemies are also grouped up together, so you can even do web bomb and then go into Wrecking Ball and then use your Spider Drone. So keep repeating that and you'll be able to do it. And you guys saw in that demonstration, I was able to get a lot of intrinsic and heroic orbs to build up my heroic meter and also my intrinsic meter to do takedowns. Okay everyone, so we are at the end of this Spider-Man range build video. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Throughout this video, we did break down the gear, where to get the gear, what skills I use, and the demonstration of the build. If you want to skip to any of those parts, I will leave timestamps in the comments below and also in the description. But until next time, like I said, I appreciate your support like always. I will be putting out a melee build as well. And I'm also going to be throwing in some clips right now of this Spider-Man build in action in missions in the game. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe. Peace.